I want to go to Mo'unga, though, because we all thought that he was the first cab off the rank if an injury happens, right? But because of the addition of Josh Jacomb to this, which is obviously a development position, I will also reference the fact that in 1996, our first choice, first five, didn't play in Pretoria. Andrew Mertens got injured and Simon Culhane had to play. So there is always that possibility as well. But I can't see Jacomb getting test time, not at this stage in his career. So where does that leave RMO? And is there a place for him to join this tour, John?
Yeah, I thought they wouldn't name Jacomb. I thought they'd name Hotham and go for 4 halfbacks and 3 first fives on this tour. But yeah, it's interesting with the Jacomb one, isn't it? I think it tells you we've got 2 first fives in our starting 15. We've got Damien McKenzie, who's the backup to Ruben Love at this point in time, isn't it? So I guess they're feeling if one of those two gets injured, then you've got to somehow come up with a plan. Either Bowden comes into the team, and that leaves you maybe short a first 5. So when you're starting 2 first fives and you're starting 15, maybe you need 4 on tour. But Josh Jacomb isn't up to test level yet. No. We've seen him in Super Rugby that he still struggles with getting his team around the park a bit and can make mistakes, costly mistakes for his Chiefs during the season at that point in time. And I think Mo'unga, we all know his class. He was peaking at the last World Cup, and then that's why we were gutted. We went overseas. So if Mo'unga, if there's a chance, if someone stubs their toe in the front row, Mo'unga will be the first guy on the plane.
Well, I think Hannah and Mo'unga are perhaps the two, Mark. Do you see that RMO is going to be playing any minutes in any test match in South Africa? Not Baltimore, South Africa.
Not unless there is major injury, Richie Mo'unga. We've always said it's an archaic decision not to take him. I would have taken him over Beauden Barrett, and I've made that quite clear in the past, but it is what it is. I don't agree with it. It might come back and bite us. But yeah, look, I do like the idea that they do have a little bit of an eye on the future with young Josh Jacomb. You are only a couple of injuries away before you do have to inject somebody. So I don't have such a problem with his inclusion. The Richie Mo'unga one is just a head scratcher for me. Hey, but look, I was just saying this. I was just saying this on my radio show the other day, and I upset a few South Africans because they ended up getting on that Planet Rugby website. But I think one thing, and I was talking to a former All Black the other day on this. If we are to win this series in South Africa and the type of rugby that we're looking to play, which is at pace, we're going to need a really good, hard referee who is not going to tolerate the South Africans slowing this game down, stopping to take out their contact lenses and having to do their boots up and feigning injury. We've got to have a referee that says, no, enough is enough, because we can play the fastest game of rugby in the world, but it's easy to negate, isn't it, by just slowing things down by being deliberate. He brought that up, actually. I'm pretty sure Dave Rennie, if we can find the quote, will play it, but I'm pretty sure he brought it up about the fact that the referees in the Nations Championship let play go on. I think he referenced the Italian game where players were down. But we're going to get English referees, aren't we? Who we're going to get TMOs upstairs. You're going to go back 20 phases, 10 minutes after a try's been scored to find a reason why it shouldn't be awarded, and we're just going to stop the game every 2 bloody seconds. What's the point of having a skill set and having an advantage and playing to your DNA if you're not allowed to
like this forever playing?
Maximise it?
This is.
I'll say this:
is gamesmanship.
The South Africans will be legally correct but morally corrupt.
The 23 test team, it feels like it's done, John. When Dave Rennie said the other day that he'd picked the 44, because I was really curious about this, about when they thought about that, or did they just add these 10 names? Because if they added the 10 names, I was thinking, well, you've got no form to go on except what had happened over here anyway with these 10 names. But he kind of indicated as well that the 23 test team was locked in when the original squad of 34 was named, and it's still there, which says a couple of things. That even though there's this idea that, you play really well in the midweek games, you can get a test spot. I'm not sure that exists.
No, not for the first team, and not for the first test.
Certainly not for the first test, no.
Left wing is the only spot I can see that's not decided yet. So we'll see how they go across those 3 games, because either Caleb Clark or Josh Morby, I think, would have the front running. But everywhere else, and especially in the starting 15, is locked in. And I must say, I was impressed with Luke Jacobson with the 3 All Blacks who came in here yesterday. I had to watch that video, and he seems like a guy who is just brimming with confidence.
That's the word. That's the exact word. I think his whole thing has changed now that this coach has shoulder tapped him and given him that confidence.
Yes, exactly. And when he was even named in the initial squad, we were like, what's he doing in the squad? And then he was named at 7. And we were like, what the hell is he doing at 7?
Yeah.
Well, he's got mana, doesn't he? In here, like the other 2 were a bit shy on the mic, Quintu Paya and Simon Parker, but he was just relaxed like a boss, and you were like, we've got to win, right? And he was just straight away, Like, he's got that attitude that Dave Rennie wants and that we need on this tour. He's one of those 5 captains, isn't he, in the team or in the leadership group with Roigard and Geordie and Cody and Artie. So, yeah, I think that first Test 23 is locked in, apart from left wing.
See, this is a guy, Mark, and who picked him at 7 in the first Test against France, and then who thought that he would actually now be lock solid for Dave Rennie in the loose forward trio, along with Artie, probably one of the first names that he puts down in the team. Amazing, isn't it? I don't know any of us that actually thought that Jacobson would rise like that so quickly.
Yeah, it's interesting because I was always a big fan of Luke Jacobson initially when he first made the All Blacks, and then I sort of watched him and I thought, oh, okay, maybe this is not quite his level of. As we said, he was given opportunity, never really took command, did he? But then it's hard when you're not in a team consistently, but also just shows the importance of just how much belief and philosophy and ethos from a coach and empowering a player and the impact it can actually have on a player in regards to getting the very, very best out of them. But look, his situation is no different, isn't it, to what we've seen in the past. Mike Brewer, you go back to the days under Laurie Mains, was Mike Brewer really desert at times? But, these coaches have these players that they can trust, that they understand, put them in there, give them that belief, and they do lift to that next level. And yeah, look, Luke Jacobson to me, if we can win that first Test, he can stand up. He is absolutely the real deal. But I think also, too, the fact that there are so many guys in the background pushing, too, to stay number 1, train as if you're number 2. You're always looking over your shoulder. And I think that's what we've got. We've got competition for places. Everybody's buying into it, too. And, so all the power to him. I mean, he is playing bloody well. The only thing I think we're missing, and I mentioned this the other day, is I just want to see guys having that ability to turn ball over a little bit more. And I just don't think we've got, at the end of the day, those sort of real sort of fetchers, those real sort of scavengers. And that's maybe the one area of weakness.
How good is this, though? Sorry, John.
No, I was just going to say, well, where's Karifi in the 7 pecking order now? Like, Jacobson's number 1, clearly, and Signer is number 2.
Well, is Lakai number 2?
Or Peter Lakai's number 2.
Yeah, one of those guys. And then Blackadder's come in as number 4. So Karifi's 5 at best. And if you look across Super Rugby, you'd be like, is this guy really the 5th best?
Yeah.
7 in New Zealand, but just doesn't fit what Dave Rennie wants from a number 7. So I wonder what he's talking about with his agent at the moment, Duplessis Karifi.
Yeah, and you've got Rieko Awani, who can be a very good 7.
Leave us a comment
hey,
on everything. And not only that, I just might want to ask one final question. What time do you watch these Test matches? They're at 3 a.m. What time do you watch them?
Live,
Mark. Live?
This isn't a question.
Live? Come on. Oh, you do not record this game.
Absolutely.
You do not record it and get up. Part of the pain of going to South Africa is, as a fan, you have to get up at 3 o'clock when it's cold, when you got to heat the lounge, when you got to get an extra blanket, when you got to put some cheese on toast on. You have to do this, right?
That's right.
This is part of the commitment. If the players are committed, then as a fan, you got to get up at 3 o'clock. And
text your family, text your friends,
everything.
Everyone at 3 in the morning.
Alarm gets up. Everyone's up at 3. The dog goes out for a pee. In he comes, and we're sitting by the TV.
And if we win, run out onto the street into your robe and shout into the street at 5 a.m.
5 a.m. That's what we
wake up the neighbourhood.
This is how we do it.
You guys clearly don't know my wife. She will not be getting up at 3 a.m. to watch the All Blacks. She couldn't even tell you what colour jersey they play.
Then, Mark. Do the romantic thing. Take her the TV in bed.
No. Hey, look, I've never ever. I have never
I want a camera at your house. I want to go live to the Watto house.
Well, there are websites you can find that on.
All right.